big return to TV. You want it to work out. We already had a little setback with Kristen. We had the episode about how awful she felt and she was fired, accused of being racist, and then the next thing you know, Faith files her lawsuit, which brings all that back to the forefront for Kristen. So I feel Jax is smarter than we give him credit for. And I feel I don't believe it. I'm going to err on the side of not believing it. It could be true, but I don't believe it. I don't believe Lori as a publicist would. I don't think it would risk her job at all, and in any way, shape, or form. I just think she's smarter than that. But Brittany unfollowed them, so maybe I'll be eating my words. Maybe the joke is on me. Before we get into a very quick round of things, so it's developing story, TBD. We don't know anything yet. It is not confirmed. Everyone is in my DMs thinking this is true, and I got no horse in the race. I got no allegiance to Jax, but I just see Jax as a family man who is trying to provide for his family, and I think he got it out of his system. I don't think he's out there wanting to fuck everything in sight. I just don't. I think that his family, his son, I think it's all for them. So creating this drama is good for business. I think he's self-producing the show from within, and I don't believe that this is true at all. Before we get into some quick rounds, which I urge everyone to go listen to. I did a huge thing on Patreon yesterday saying, is the end of Housewives and Andy Cohen's time at Bravo near? And I break it down really slowly because I keep bringing this up. I mean, it's slow. It was one. I'm impressed with my episode. I think it was one of my better episodes. I think it's just because these are the topics I like to talk about, these big picture things. And we went show by show. Roni, New Jersey. New Jersey ain't as safe as everyone thinks it is, and show by show about why each of the shows, in their own respect, are in trouble and why BravoCon 2024 was really canceled and all the lawsuits and everything that's going on with Andy. So if you want a real roadmap, I mean, I don't know if this is a shameless plug, but it's really a good episode. So go and listen to that on Patreon. But regardless of that, it is something I've talked about in a lot of the shows that, and I talk about this on the Patreon episode in detail. I said on a show, I don't know when because I don't know which shows are which, but I said on the main feed here that if I were Andy Cohen, I would be exiting. I would be negotiating my exit package. That would be me. And I said this on Patreon and on the main show. And what I meant is that I don't think he's in trouble. I don't think he's being ousted. But if it were me, I think it's the opposite. I would look around and say the whole ship is being like, it's kind of like if the Titanic is going down and you're like, huh, like the plates are flying off the table. The water was up to our ankles. Now it's up to our knees. At what point do you jump ship from the Titanic and say, I'm swimming to the top of the shore? This thing is going fucking down. Some people would say, hey, I'm having a good meal. This can't really sink this whole ship. So to me, which was the majority of my show yesterday, but I've said here before, I think the network is having issues and is not going to recover long term. I think this is the beginning of the end. Again, this is a quick hit. I go into detail. And I said, if I were Andy, I would say, I want out. Fuck my ego. I want my $50 million exit package. Where's that Chris Harrison person? So I would be doing that if I were him and saying, I have a book in print. I have a great life in the Hamptons. I want to be home to see the kids. I have a Radio Andy. I have so many other things, like when Bethany sells Skinny Girl and retains the rights to every single thing, jeans, salad dressing, all except for the liquor. It's a great deal. That's what I would do if I were Andy. Say, here, you can have your Bravo piece. Give me my $50 million, and I could still make millions of dollars a year with all these other things I have going on. That would be me. That is what I would do at this point and say, the whole damn ship is sinking. I want off. I'm initiating this. I said that on the show a week ago, and I said it again. And then there's this headline In Touch that a source says that Andy is negotiating his exit package. There were so many words in there that were like the exact words that I used on this podcast. Two housewives texted me. No, we're not going to get into who they are. It's neither here nor there. But two housewives texted me and said, this is you. You're the source. You said exactly this. Um, so, you know, I mean, I don't know for sure. I mean, I didn't speak to In Touch, but this has happened once before. So my point is, there are two housewives that are texting me and saying, I think you're the source. Like, I think they listen to your podcast and they're running with his story, which I never said Andy Cohen was exiting. I said if I were him, I would exit. I would be like, give me the money. Kind of like I'd love to exit this right now and go sleep all day, but I love you all. But that's what I said. I mean, then when I started reading this article, I'm like, Jesus, these do sound like my exact words, and maybe I am the source. This has happened before with when Catherine Edwards was on my show. I don't know what season it was, and we were talking about the future of Beverly Hills, and I said, like, look, this was way back when I thought Lisa Vanderpump coming back was still an option. And I said, like, look, Lisa's never going to come back. She would have to be the number one on the call sheet. So, like, Kyle probably makes like 1.5. And if Kyle makes 1.5, Vanderpump will never come back unless she makes more than Kyle. Like, Vanderpump would have to make something starting with a two. If it started with a two, Lisa Vanderpump would probably come back. If Kyle's making 1.5, you have to start with a two to even get Lisa in the game. That's what I said with Catherine Edwards on the show. The next thing I know, In Touch or The Sun or one of those, literally within 24 hours, there was a headline. Inside source claims Lisa Vanderpump in negotiations to return for $2 million. Then you read the words and it said, source claims Lisa Vanderpump's salary would have to start with a two. I mean, the things they said were literally exactly my words. Catherine was even like, you're the source. Not that I'm calling these publications, but by doing the show and saying this, I'm like, holy shit, I am the source because I just fucking said that. That's literally word for word what I said. So this situation, people are now sending this to me and saying, like, this is exactly what you said. So am I the fucking source? Did I start this rumor? Which my point is, if so, and it's like the Lisa Vanderpump thing, because I've said it here, I think it's not true because I mean, I'm just giving advice. And I mean, just like when I said Lisa's has to start with a two, I'm just giving you my opinion. They all listen, guys. So if that's the case, and I am the source that started this In Touch thing, which I mean, I don't know why you would uh, then I think it's not true because here I am talking, and that's my vision of what I would do. So then that makes me think nothing is true. I think if that's the case and they heard it on this podcast, Andy's just fine. I really don't think that Andy's going to be let go. I really don't. Again, I would bring it to them and I would say, get me the hell out of here because this revision of Housewives has 6 months, a year, 2 years. What is that? What is 2 years? So I just don't see that. So I don't think that's true. I don't think they're going to get rid of him. I don't think his ego is going to take my plan and go and do his that. I think he's going to just be there and it's going to be business as usual. I don't know what's going to happen to the future of BravoCon, but we'll have to talk about it soon because we're out of time for a quick hit today. Love you all so much. It is Sunday. I hope you're outside. It's kind of warm here in LA. My friends in New York tell me they're freezing, and my friends in the Hamptons tell me they're even more freezing. Hope you're all having a great day. I love you all.